Today on Grow Up, Level Up, Sunset Selects, we are going to be answering the question, is Xbox Game Pass worth your 5 to 9 after your 9 to 5 in the year 2026? We're going to be talking all about that and Xbox and more on today's episode of Grow Up, Level Up, Sunset Selects. Roll the intro. Good evening, good morning, good whatever you are looking and hearing at. Welcome to Grow Up, Level Up, Sunset Selects, the weekly podcast where we bring you topics, discussions, reviews, previews, interviews, all that fun stuff about the games that you should be playing in your 5 to 9 after your 9 to 5. My name is Samson, and joined to me today is the ever Irish looking Sir Dr. JM. Now, is there a story behind your Irish clothing there, attire?
Well, the story is this is an actual Irish rugby team jersey from Ireland, but the real story is it's probably the only green shirt I own, and today's a Game Pass episode or an Xbox episode, so I got the green light on, but I did notice that my camera filters out a lot of it, so there you go, you can see it on my hand. Anyways, yeah, I wore it because it's green.
That makes a lot of sense. And you know what? I think the only green thing I own is a pair of green sweatpants because they were on sale. It's one of the colors. Yeah.
Nice.
So you are dressed for the occasion because it is Xbox Day. We're going to be talking a little bit about Game Pass. I think it's a well time to revisit that topic, as well as with all the new Xbox news that we will recap as well. But before we dive into all that, before we even dive into the special unboxing Jordan's got on his lap there, I want to remind you that this is Grow Up, Level Up, Sunset Selects. We post once a week everywhere that you can find a podcast, everywhere that you can find a YouTube video. And we are a podcast that likes to bring you the topics, like I said, topics, news, discussions, interviews, all that fun stuff relating about the games that you like to play in your 5 to 9 after your 9 to 5. It's part of the bigger Grow Up, Level Up network where we want to celebrate games in general and how they helped us grow up and why it's important to play today. Like I said, you can find us at Grow Up, Level Up on all the socials, or you can find us live. We've been doing more and more of these live recordings over at twitch.tv/Grow Up, Level Up. And in the chat, we are joined by Perry Chumont, That Girl, Kayla Gray, Blaster Goblin, all the Twitch fam that we got joining us today. Welcome. Thank you for supporting our small little stream and being a part of the live chat. Of course, if you ever have any ideas or anything you want to chat about, input on the show, feel free to chat in any time. We want to make this as interactive as possible, and that way you get to be a part of the episode forever, immortalized. If you really want to support us, make sure you like, comment, subscribe if you're watching on YouTube later. Rate us on Spotify if you're listening on there. Like I said, subscribe to us on YouTube. And if you really, really want to support us, head over to growuplevelup.com and pick yourself up a Grow Up Level Up shirt or a Grow Up Level Up hoodie with logos and graphics designed by friend of the show, Cameron French at The French Dip Design. Without further ado, Twitch chat, I have a question for you. You have 15 seconds because I know Jordan's itching to open this package, but I sent Jordan something across Canada, across the Rockies, I guess, over from Vancouver over to Alberta. Put into chat what your guesses are for the package.
Oh,
Jordan, do you have any guesses?
Idea. Do I have any guesses? Honestly, no. I was expecting a much smaller package. Not like you gave me any hint at what it was, but I just honestly did not know what to expect at all. So
I did send it on your birthday. I did say don't call it a birthday present because that was kind of a coincidence. I meant to send this to you a week before that.
I didn't realize that.
Yeah, it was just you can call it a birthday present if you want, but I could do better is all I'll say. So what I'll warn you about is it is packed pretty tight. So as you cut open the top, please don't cut too deep. That's all I'll say. Let's see. In the chat, we got some guesses. Kayla says, is it Pokemon? A real Pikachu.
Maybe there's
Harry
a Pikachu
also
in there.
says, is it a real Pokemon? Or is it a Pokemon? Backmo says, a Pokemon jersey. That's pretty good. Blaster Goblin in a box. Rope. And those are all great guesses. Loose milk.
Rope.
Did you... Okay, Jordan, this is a Canadian thing. But
Yes.
bagged milk, that's not a thing in Alberta, right? Bagged milk.
That is not a thing in Alberta. From what I understand, it's like a Montreal, Toronto, maybe even like an eastern, like further eastern Canada thing. But yeah, it's not a thing out here in the prairies.
Not a thing on the west. Yeah. So bagged milk, weird. Moose milk could be. Plastic Goblin could fit in that box. Well, Jordan, I think the good people have been waiting. If you want to open it up, please check it out.
Yes, let me dive in. And while I do that, I'll just tell you, since I'm sure people are wondering what this wonderful thing in my hand is. This is an ice pack because I burnt my hand pulling a dish out of the oven just before this episode. So I got a nice burn on my thumb right here. So you'll see me gripping that. But
hold on, maybe we'll see me gripping some sound effect. Wow.
OMG. Hang on. Here we go.
Here we go. Final guesses.
Do I need, or should I turn on the actual light here?
Sure.
How's my lighting?
Sure. I'll make your, you know what? I'll make your whole screen bigger. How do I do that?
Oh, okay.
Split screen.
All right, here we go.
We'll do that.
I know what it is already, just from the little face I see peeking at me.
Hold on.
Although I'm a little confused how you pulled this off.
Hold on.
And there's more than one thing in here
there
too. Okay. First of all, okay, hang on, chat. How's the view? Because for me, Samson is bigger than me.
I think I got you on the 2/3 and I'm on the 1/3. So you are taking up a majority of the screen.
For me, it's the opposite of that, but that's okay.
Okay.
Perry says lol Samson. Let's see what this thing is.
Oh no, it is backwards on the thing. Okay, we'll do this.
Oh, we're adjusting on the fly. What is this? Is this a playmat? Oh, it's a Mega Gengar playmat.
Let's go.
That's sick.
That was the Gengar playmat I got at the Seattle Pokemon Regionals.
Oh my god.
You can have it. I don't need it.
Wow. There's no way I would not call this a birthday present. That's awesome. That's so cool. Here, I'm going to hold it up again.
Genki's in the chat.
Yes, Gengar's in the chat. Look at that.
Yeah, so it is Pokemon. Yeah.
That's so wicked. This is the kind of thing that I'm like, I don't even want to put this on the desk because I want to show it off, you know? Yeah, I'll put it on
Some people hang it up. Some people frame it. Yeah. Some
That's
people frame this kind of stuff. You're welcome.
I love Mega Gengar. He's so cool. Second only, of course, to shiny Mega Gengar. Now, audience, those of you watching, this is probably going to be more exciting for you than the Mega Gengar mat. But I have to move this off my lap to get it out of the box. So
cool. You're full screen now. You got it all.
On my end, you are full screen.
Oh my gosh, it happened again to me. Oh, it's whoever talks. I'm just going to shut up. I'm just going to shut up.
Oh, okay. Here we go. I got to flip the box over to get this out. So. Gengar Lego leaked today, apparently, according to Batgirl in the chat.
Ooh.
This is amazing. Now, this one, I'm very curious how you pulled this off. Chat, can you see me? It still shows Samson for me. This is, of course, what I assume is the influencer box for Kiln. Am I right?
It is.
Holy cow.
It was Emily's idea to send it to you, actually.
To me? Why?
She wants you to make some pottery with your kiddo.
Oh my gosh. That's amazing. Look at that shit.
There's some extra goodies in there.
Sorry, Double Fine. Extra goodies? Awesome. More hourglasses for Pokemon. And there's a letter in here. I assume this is just for me. This is a secret.
Yes. Oh, hey, your address is on there. Watch out.
Oh, sorry, chat. Oh, so is Emily's. Whoops. Okay, nobody saw it. Look at this.
I don't think the quality's good enough.
Oh, okay. That's amazing. This is so cool. I've never unboxed anything before, as you can probably tell. Let me get this thing out of here. Oh my gosh, it's heavy.
Yeah, I don't actually know what's in there. I just got the box.
Okay, hang on. I'm going to move this big box. One last look, chat. Says Kiln. Lots of, Easter fluff stuff in there. It's got some weight, some fire on the inside of the box. Nice little pottery pattern. And of course, your little spirit guy from Kiln.
Mm-hmm. Oh, check the bottom of the box real quick.
Bottom of the box? Does it have a butt?
Batgirl shouted it out in the chat.
Let's see. There it is. There's the butt. Amazing.
There is a butt. Thank you, Batgirl. Thanks for the reminder.
Amazing. Okay. Here we go. Okay, now let's open this little sucker up. It is a home pottery kit. How cool is this? Okay, hang on. I got to move. Okay, you know what? I don't want to wreck my new mat, so I'm going to move it as well. Use the best.
Oh, it's got dumper. A big dumpy. I have a funny story about Big Dumpy later. Oh, that's
Show
cute.
me what you made, please. Very cute.
Oh, and then we got a tag on too.
Got a little toolkit, so it guides you through everything. Quick start guide. I'm assuming this will be like Oh, look how cute this thing is.
Oh, that's cool.
Weep-oo, weep-oo. Okay, that's awesome. And let's see. Got a little baggie in here, which has, of course, your sponge tool. And all your other tools, your carving tools. Very cool. Very cool. We've also got some paint brushes, of course, for afterwards. Comes with a base coat in seashell white and a gloss varnish, a clear gloss varnish. Paints, of course. I'm assuming these colors here. Acrylic paints. And then we got some clay in here.
Oh, that's
super
cool.
Clay.
Oh, that's a lot of clay.
I will dry out in the air, so keep me sealed and stored in this bag, it says. And another super clay.
It's a lot of clay.
That is a ton. Holy cow. That's amazing. I can't believe Emily, this person that has never met me in person. I mean, you've never met me in person either, but, you know, thank you for introducing me to Emily because that's so nice of her. That's amazing.
No problem.
And obviously, thank you for sending this along. I can't wait to get into it. This is so cool.
I'll pass on the thanks. Yeah. It was her idea. Like I said, Emily was the one that received this kit. For folks who don't know, Emily at emily.created on Instagram. She is the pottery maestro, friend of the show, who gave us her time and just talked a little bit about pottery. And then, the Double Fine ended up reaching out to her for the kit and not Grow Up Level Up, which was kind of funny. So then she's like, she did take some of the things in there, but then she's like, well, the rest can go to Jordan, I guess.
Right on. No, that's awesome. I'm glad she found some use in whatever, they sent her that she wanted to keep. And I'm also super stoked that she sent this along because, yeah, I'm sure my daughter will have a blast with this. And guess what's going to sit next to me this whole episode? A butt.
By your head. Very nice. Very nice.
That's right.
Yeah, Perry in the chat says, can't wait to see what you make. I'm also curious now to see what you make. Yeah.
Oh, God.
That's awesome.
I am too. I'm sure it'll be sweet.
Kiln, as we know, made by Double Fine, as we also know, owned by Microsoft, who also owns Game Pass. And that is the topic of today's episode. Is Game Pass worth it in 2026? The way we structured this is we're going to go over a little bit of the Xbox news. I'm sure if you are somebody listening to a podcast like this, you are familiar, but we'll still go over it just to see how fast things moves along. I think like the news and the movements that they've been doing in the past couple of months have been crazy fast. I think that's good to go over. And then we're going to dive into a little bit of thoughts of what I think about Xbox Game Pass, and Jordan, what you think about Xbox Game Pass, because although it's been in our conversations recently, we both have kind of like different experiences and viewpoints of it so far. So Jordan,
yes,
I'll pass it over to you. Would you like to go over the recent moves that Xbox has made since this year?
I would love to. And now I look at Discord. Oh, and Batgirl sent me as well the leaked Pokemon sets. We've got Geodude and Charmander. We've got a Jigglypuff one that looks just derpy in all the right ways.
I like that one.
And a Gengar Cubone set. That's cool. Very cool. Thanks for that, Batgirl. Anyways, Xbox. So yeah, as Samson said, we'll talk about Game Pass today. But of course, I wanted to talk about Xbox to start, because of course in recent years they've had their struggles, as we all know, as we've all seen, especially with this generation and PS5 kind of taking the lead, I think, in a lot of ways, which really started last generation as well. So in the past 4 or so months, we've had some big changes over at Xbox. Of course, February 20th, Asha Sharma was named Executive Vice President, I believe, and CEO of Microsoft Gaming. Phil Spencer retiring after 38 years with Microsoft, and Sarah Bond, of course, deciding, in air quotes, to leave the company. we won't get into all the drama around that because there is some talk about what exactly happened there. But I think it really shocked most of the gaming internet, the gaming sphere, as we all would expect, because Phil Spencer has been steering the ship over at Xbox or Microsoft Gaming for quite a while now. I think I saw somewhere it was like 12 years or something. So pretty big shock. And Asha Sharma, of course, being the sort of topic of a little bit of controversy because she came from Microsoft's AI division or something to that extent and kind of headed that up for a while. So a bit of a strange placement for her, seemingly from the outside. But obviously, somewhere somebody said, "Hey, we've got a new role for you, and we want you to take this on." And she said yes. So that was back in February. Now, fast forward to April 21st, and just as a heads up, a couple of these will go a little out of order, but just because of priority. So April 21st, Asha Sharma and the Xbox team announces a Game Pass price decrease. So again, very shocking news. Not a move I think anybody expected to see or hear from Xbox. They did sneak in there as well that Call of Duty was being pulled out of the Game Pass lineup. So Call of Duty, of course, previously included in the day one free game or day one release, whatever, first party games kind of thing, because of course Microsoft owns Activision Blizzard as well. And now that was a big one. That was a big deal because Call of Duty had been the topic of much ire when it came to the whole Activision Blizzard acquisition, right? There was a lot of talk about, in terms of a monopoly, Microsoft had to keep Call of Duty available on all platforms. And I believe they even at the time committed to putting it on Switch and things like that it hadn't previously been on, just in the effort of, maintaining that people could play where they want to kind of thing.
Or, winning the right to buy Activision Blizzard.
Yes, true. That is a great point. Realistically, what was their motive? Their motive was, hey, we'll concede Call of Duty being available to make us more money. And meanwhile, we can, buy this mega corporation and, own a ton of the gaming industry. So anyways, April 21st, they announced Call of Duty being pulled out of Game Pass, and Game Pass price decreasing. Game Pass Ultimate dropped from $29.99 USD to $22.99 USD, so about $7-8. Which the funny thing about this for me really was the timing, because I had purchased Game Pass for the first time maybe a month before. And of course, up in Canada, it was $35 a month for the Game Pass Ultimate. And I did get Ultimate, even though I don't have an Xbox console. I do have a PC that obviously I'm on right now. And that's where I play most of my Xbox games. But I'm constantly keeping my eye out for maybe I'll just get a cheap used Xbox just to have one at the TV kind of thing. So, anyways, price dropped from about $35 to I think $27, if I'm not mistaken. I did get an email about it, of course, saying your subscription price has changed. But anyways, seemingly a very good move. On the Call of Duty topic, they did mention COD would be offered approximately a year after each release had been on the market, kind of thing. So, and of course, yes, as the chat says, money go burr. It's all about that dollar increase and everything. So then we fast forward a few weeks after that. May 6th, Xbox announces they are no longer developing Copilot on console. So here I'll read a couple quotes that I believe are from Asha Sharma directly. The quote reads, Xbox needs to move faster, deepen our connection with the community, and address friction for both players and developers. ... As part of this shift, you will see us begin to retire features that don't align with where we're headed. We will begin winding down Copilot on mobile and stop development of Copilot on console. So I think this one really came in a lot of ways as a welcome shock to the gaming market. Just like the Game Pass price decrease, because with Asha Sharma's history with AI, specifically at Microsoft, there were a lot of concerns. So seemingly a good move. That's something that I think most of us who have worked in a corporate environment at all, we would all love to say that, yeah, our bosses look at something and evaluate, is this actually necessary? Does this actually help us get to where we want to be? And a lot of the time, unfortunately, those who lead us, that is not the case. But in this case, it seemed like a positive change. Now, these next two items, these are the last two news-ish items I have here in relation to Xbox in the last 4 or 5 months. One came on April 30th. The other came around May 18th. First, Xbox refreshes their logo with a very similar logo, but one sort of, to me, reminiscent of the original Xbox, which I found interesting, not even harkening back to the 360 days. Because to me, the 360 days are when Xbox was really on top. But hey, the logo kind of more green than anything. I think really kind of, like I say, reminiscent of the OG. And then, of course, shortly after that, Xbox, I'll say air quotes officially, rebrands Xbox, capital XBOX, to all caps XBOX. So
You could yell it.
Exactly. Seems like they're yelling at you every time they say it. So, that one may be more of a marketing play than anything. Ultimately people are going to call it what they want to call it. But I do think these are some meaningful changes that show already, what Asha is aiming to do. And I mean, in a lot of ways, what her team has been able to do. Now, there's always the question to me when you see these kind of things of, okay, if Phil Spencer had gone to Satya Nadella, of course, the dude running Microsoft, if Phil had gone to Satya and said, we want to change the Xbox logo, would Phil have been laughed out of the room, right? Because for someone who had been there for, 12, whatever it is, 15 years already, that's not really that big of a deal. Is that a priority? Probably not. But whenever you see someone new come into a role like this, they do, I think, get a certain levity to make changes like this in an effort to make this product environment, whatever you want to call it, their own. So, there's something to be said about that. But ultimately, the question I want to ask you, Samson, now, I'll turn it over to you.
Mm-hmm.
Are these changes moving the needle with Xbox?
Now, the way I'm interpreting the question, is it moving the needle? I need to ask two people in my life. One of them is my old boss. Sam Chan, another Sam Chan, chicken on the internet. I need to ask him, and I need to ask my wife's cousin's boyfriend. Those are the two people in my life that I know that still own an Xbox.
Oh, okay.
I need to know if one, they even heard that these changes are happening, and two, like, yeah, what do they think?
Right.
So we'll come back to that once I track them down and get some ideas for the pod there. But for me, myself, and I am optimistic, but I'm cautiously optimistic. I'm like, they are doing a lot of the right things. I do like the new logo. I do like the title treatment with Xbox being all capital. It's like what Valorant does. They just capitalize every single letter in their name whenever they do a copy. Mm-hmm. I think those are cool. I think, yeah, like marketing, that is pretty cool. But the cynical side of me is like, what's the catch? Like, are you just going for all the low-hanging fruit because this is like, low-hanging fruit? Or, Asha Sharma, are you actually passionate about like pulling in this Xbox fan base again that has been lost more or less over the last 20 years? Is that truly the intention, or are we just going for the easy points right now? That being said, I do think like the stuff like announcing they're not going to do co-pilot on the console. The price drop is crazy. Like, yeah, that is, Plastic Goblin said it earlier in the chat, like PlayStation takes some notes. Batgirl said it earlier in the chat, PlayStation takes some notes. Like, that is unheard of that services are going down, at least in 2026. Plastic Goblin saying that he's the third person I know that owned an Xbox. I owned an Xbox One S at one point, and a One X actually.
One. Okay.
Yeah, I don't own them anymore. Haven't owned them for long. for me, I am cautiously optimistic about what their next steps are, that they're taking these easy points.
Mm-hmm.
But overall, I'm like, good. Like there
Yeah.
needs to be more of a shift. There needs to be more competition. Like as great as PlayStation is, you're starting to see their egos get in the way with raising the prices, and then just being like, well, we're the big dog in the house. Like you're either going to PlayStation to get the best of the best, or you're just playing. You're not playing these kinds of games.
Mm-hmm.
For myself, if it's moving the needle for myself, I would say like for the first time in a long time, I am curious about signing up for Game Pass again, but I'm sure
Nice.
we'll come back to that. But as for buying an Xbox, I don't think I'm in the market for something like that. But for Game Pass, for sure.
Fair
We'll
enough.
come back to that. I want to pull in some chats on the Twitch chat as you can when you catch us live, twitch.tv/grow up level up. Batgirl saying, as I'm looking at my OG Xbox, it's all caps. Was it never all caps? It's like when I learned the PlayStation 3 font was the Spider-Man font, and I was like, whoa.
Oh, man. Yeah, I remember that. Yeah.
And one more, Blaster Goblin was saying, I'm an Xbox sicko. I was ready to go down with the ship before the ship somehow came back above water. That is very odd. Yeah. So, the Titanic floats.
Yeah, it'll be very interesting to see, because I think, like you said, these are, for all intents and purposes, like there's no way you can say these moves are bad. They are pro-consumer. They are optically, from the outside looking in, they look like good moves. Will they make a huge impact? Only time will tell, I feel.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, fair enough. Do you want to move on to the next topic, Samson?
Well, I guess I'll bring it back to you. Like, are they moving the needle for you?
I mean, that's the interesting thing, given the timing of it all and everything.
Yeah, like this is really funny timing for you, actually. Yeah.
I bought Game Pass for the first time, literally, I think it was a week to the day before they announced the price decrease.
Yeah.
So to me, it was quite literally just a value proposition of, well, actually, to spoil something we'll talk a little bit about at the end of the show, I've been invited to take part in a little Forza tournament. And what's the easiest way to play Forza? It's not spend 100 Canadian dollars on it. It's spend 35 Canadian dollars to be able to play it for a month. So it was an easy buy for me. And then, I looked at the catalog and wow, the timing of this guy couldn't be better. Heroic Headgear in the chat says, oh, hello, my Gulu boys. A big driving factor behind me getting Game Pass was I finally decided I wanted to jump into Sea of Thieves. And I know Heroic Headgear in the chat, again, is a big Sea of Thieves guy. Arguably the biggest one I know, or the biggest fan of Sea of Thieves I know. So anyways.
Thief,
Yes, exactly. So, to me, it was, hey, here's 2 games I'm going to play in the next 2 months, and I could play them for $35. Done, right? Easy. Both are games that I think have a lot of legs to them, and you could play for a long, long time to come. Sea of Thieves, of course, is a live service model kind of game, whereas Forza, I think, is more of just a game packed to the brim with stuff to do and, a wide open world kind of thing. Of course, it's a racing game, so the stuff is mostly racing and driving. But regardless, two things I wanted to get into, and here you go. Here's an easy way. And then fast forward 3 weeks later, you message me and say, hey, have you heard of this game called Mixtape? And the answer, honestly, no. I had heard of it, but it wasn't on my radar at all. And if you listen to last week's episode, you would know that, that game is my game of the year at this point. I haven't played that many new games in 2026, but easily it's going to be in my top 10 for sure. So again, just further evidence that, it's got this stuff to me.
This is all within 1 month of.
Yeah, this was all within 1 month of me paying. Like, it hadn't even renewed for a second month. Oh, and then on top of that, you throw in Fortnite Crew. You get 1,000 V-Bucks and the Battle Pass included. And that's the first time I have ever had Fortnite Crew. I've never spent money on Fortnite before. And technically speaking, I still haven't. I spent the money on Game Pass and I get Fortnite included. And what do I find myself doing on a lot of Friday nights now? It's playing Fortnite with a bunch of the people that are in the chat here, right? That's the first time I've ever done that. So Yeah, I mean, if the question is Game Pass worth it? To me, right now, it's absolutely yes.
That's awesome. And hey, that's a great segue into our next topic, Jordan, about Xbox Game Pass. Did you want to lead this part, or shall I?
Yeah. No, that's a good call for me. I mean, I've talked a bunch about it already, but I'd love to know
Oh,
for
sure.
you how much experience do you have with Game Pass? And well, I mean, I honestly don't know. Have you ever paid for Game Pass?
Yeah, I guess we never actually talked about this
Yeah,
officially. When Game Pass came out, I forget if Game Pass PC came out at the same time, and it was like just a nerfed version of Game Pass.
right,
But there was Game Pass Ultimate, which included everything. Um, and there were a couple things that I was interested in, such as Xbox Cloud. I think Fortnite Crew was around that
right,
time, or I paid for Fortnite Crew separately. I had Fortnite Crew at some point. It was
right.
not great, like for my wallet, because I forgot I had it. I kept getting
Yes,
charged.
yeah,
But Xbox Game Pass always, yeah, like the value proposition always fascinated me. Of course, I'm talking 5 or 6 years ago, so mid
right.
pandemic, not much to
Mm,
do, and Game Pass just came out, and it is a very different Game Pass than we have today.
hmm.
Back then, yeah, there were games, but they weren't like the heavy hitters like Forza,
Right,
um, like I don't even think like Master Chief Collection was on there yet. Like they were slowly still building out that catalog, so it was a lot cheaper, which is fine. And then I don't know if anybody remembers this, but Xbox Gold, Live Gold, was still
oh
a thing,
yes, that's right.
and there was a little opportunity that you could do where you buy the maximum amount of Xbox Live Gold, which was 36 months,
I remember this. Yes.
and then you pay $1 to convert it into Game Pass Ultimate. So
Hmm.
I think from 2020 like 1 to 2024, I had Game Pass Ultimate for 3 years, and
That's
I have to
amazing.
admit, Jordan, I only touched it
Ah,
maybe 2-3 times a year.
that's crazy.
In the end, it only
Insane.
costed like I think like $115
Yeah.
Canadian, which is
Yeah, totally.
nuts. But there just wasn't anything on it that I wanted to play.
Right.
Like I'll use it to, like, Sea of Thieves came out, so I played a bit of Sea of Thieves through it. I'm like, okay, that was
Hmm.
fine. And then yeah, the Halos eventually got on there. Halo Infinite, whatever, played
Right.
that.
Makes
Um,
sense.
but yeah, there just wasn't enough there for me to go back to it. And then when that 3 years went up, I just let it lapse, and I never felt the pull to come back to Game Pass again. To be
Fair
fair,
enough.
I don't think it is necessarily like the service itself. I think it's the type of games. They're just not games at that
Right.
time in my life as well
Hmm.
that I don't
Hmm.
play. Like you know me, I play Overwatch and Valorant and Counter Strike at that
Hmm.
time. I'm not going to sit down and play a Fallout or an Outer Worlds, stuff like that.
Right.
Like that's just not the kind of game I'm into, and it's something I've talked openly about on the channel. So Game Pass, I have had experience on it, but I can't say like I've been using it to its full potential. I mostly bought it as like the value proposition is, quoting Paris Lilly, the best deal in gaming, or like one of them. I don't know. But yeah, just like over the 3 years, I got an insane deal on it, and it still couldn't
Yeah.
get me to click on it. So
Interesting.
so it
That's
is, yeah.
that's very interesting. And I mean, honestly, like I think if anything, because again, I haven't previously been this kind of a gamer, but if anything, I think this might make me the kind of person who uh, subscribes and unsubscribes, as I need to or as I want to. Um, I have a screenshot here in front of me of the first 3 rows of the recently added games to Game Pass. And of course, we've got Forza Horizon 6, we've got Subnautica 2, of course, big game that just came out.
Mm-hmm.
We've got Mixtape, we've got
My Friend Peppa
Income.
Pig. Oh,
Yeah,
did you get it
My
wrong?
Friend Peppa Pig. You better believe it. I mean, there's a Ben 10 Power Trip game too.
Oh,
But a game like Incombini, which has weirdly become a thing
okay.
amongst gamers. Not I think typically the kind of game that would have had a big splash, but again, included on Game Pass. One thing I didn't even think to mention, of course, right next to me, Kiln. Game Pass game being owned by Double Fine. Vampire Crawlers is on there. Hades 2, of course. Hades releasing on Xbox and PlayStation a year after it came out on Switch 2. But on PlayStation, you have to pay full price for it. On Xbox, it's included in Game Pass. And then, like you said, we got replaced, and we've got Tiny Bookshop, a game that came out last year that we also talked about. So there's just a ton of stuff on there if you want it. And I think that's the big thing that I'm really coming around to is right now, again, for me, the time was right. So I jumped in. It just renewed, I think, on like the halfway through the month or something. So I have it until mid-June. We'll see what comes out before then. I mean, again, shout out to some of the chat there. I know Blaster Goblin is planning a stream for his, I believe, 100th stream, where he's going to be playing some Halo Reach, possibly with the community. Blaster Goblin, of course, keep an eye on Blaster Goblin's socials for more info on that. But, that might just be another reason for me to stay in the ecosystem. So if they can keep this up, maybe they keep my sub. But at the same time, like I say, I think gamers maybe just need to, keep it in their mind. Hey, you don't have to have this thing all the time. Buy it for 1 month. And then if you don't need it the next month, cancel it. You're not harming anybody. You're saving your own money. I've never done that with subscription services, really. But maybe now is the time. Blaster Goblin in the chat says June 12th, come play some Halo. He did say Jordan, but I'll extend that out to everyone in the chat and watching afterwards and everything. So anyways, yeah. So yeah, I mean, June 12th, like I say, I'm pretty sure my Game Pass expires technically June 17th or something. So I'll still be here. So maybe I will dive in. But now, Samson, I did want to pose a larger question to you. Given how you feel about it, what would entice you to re-up your sub? And it doesn't have to just be games, of course, because now we have things like, Fortnite Crew is technically, another game subscription, but I think you get like a month of Discord Nitro with Game Pass. It is only 1 month, which I found interesting because I looked into it because I was like, oh, that's kind of cool. I have Discord Nitro now. And then I looked and you have to actually activate it because it's only for 1 month. Then Discord Nitro charges you separately for the sub. So that was a little sneaky of them because they announced it like, hey, Discord Nitro is included, and it's not. But anyways, what do you think? What would entice you?
I think, I owe Xbox an apology. I think I opened the Xbox app while we were chatting to see what games are in here. And I'm like, there are some games that I've been interested in playing, like Forza Horizon 6, love Japan. I need to find some time to dive into there. Just scrolling down on the new game page here. I literally just had it.
You did shout out Replaced, which is a good one.
Yes, Replaced was one of them. Absolum was another one that's been on my radar for a while. And then there's a game here called Like a Dragon Infinite Wealth. And I haven't talked to too many people about this. Well, mostly my wife. But that song from the Stranger in Heaven preview that they did a couple weeks back, they got the marketing push from Microsoft, and it's going to be on Game Pass. I think that game will also pull me in to grab Game Pass for a month or two, depending on how long it takes for me to beat that game. Let's see, what other things would entice me? I think on the topic of Fortnite Crew, more like Overwatch, for example. Throw in the Overwatch Battle Pass in there. I would pay for that. I know like buying the Battle Pass is probably cheaper. But throw in some Overwatch credits. Same with like Hearthstone and all the Blizzard games, all the free-to-play Blizzard games. Like throw in some credentials, and not just Blizzard, like anything. Yeah. Like make it super minimal, but at least it gets me like, it'll pay for my first skin. It'll at least get me to download the game and check it out. Those are things that I think would increase the value of Game Pass, even though it's like so much value already.
Like, to your point, they own Activision Blizzard. What's stopping them from throwing 1,000 Overwatch credits at every single Game Pass subscriber for launching into
Overwatch?
For launching into Overwatch, sorry, mod thing popped up on my Twitch there. I was just denying a message. Anyways, yeah, like to me, those are easy wins. Give everyone. I mean, World of Warcraft has a billion free trials nowadays. Give everyone a free trial up to level 30 instead of, I think technically anyone can create an account up to level 20 now. They could just, throw in a little bonus like that. I guarantee they're going to see numbers go up because people will jump on it just for the free access, right?
Yeah,
So,
true. I think Warcraft was always something that escaped me. And like you said, I could play up to level 20, but like the fact that I have to pay every month to keep playing it, I'm like, I don't know. But if it's part of Game Pass, I'm getting all this other stuff for as part of the package, not for free, as part of the package. That would be really, really nice. I think now this is a couple steps ahead of where we're at. Bring back Guitar Hero. And I might be sure, yeah.
Okay.
Like you have to pay to play it on Game Pass and on PC, but
Right.
that might also get me. And I know there's Clone Hero and Yarg that you can just run the emulators, but it doesn't. It's not exactly the same as just running Guitar Hero. So so I guess in the end, it is just missing the few games that would get me to say like, hey, I don't want to pay $100 Canadian for Stranger Than Heaven. For a single player game that will take me anywhere from 15 to 30 hours. Like I can do Game Pass instead and bang that out in a month. And then, like you said, cancel it until the next one comes around.
Yeah.
So I think it's just waiting for that right game.
Yeah. Yeah. Fair enough. Fair enough. And like I say, for me, the timing really just couldn't have been better. With all my constant thinking about getting into Sea of Thieves and then Kiln dropping and then Forza Horizon 6 coming out, like it was just a perfect storm. And then on top of that, I mean, then it's just a matter of keeping me in, right? So yeah.
Well, I guess I'll bring it back to you. What would keep you in? Like, is it something that they have to do each month? Is it just like the value's there, you don't mind keeping it around? Or?
I mean, like right now, the big thing is I'm looking at all these games that, like you say, I wouldn't have tried otherwise because they just aren't something I wanted to spend my money on. I mean, even something like Mixtape, I looked at it on PlayStation. I think it was 26, 27 Canadian dollars, Canadian fun bucks. But given the opportunity to buy it for free or download it for free, I was like, yeah, I can do that easy. Like you say, something like Replaced, something like Hades too. That is another one that I have been considering jumping into for quite a while now. I always kind of said, I mean, it's game of the year contender for last year for sure. But I knew it was coming to PlayStation and Xbox a year later. I always would have said I was going to get it on PlayStation. But now it's a no-brainer. If I'm going to play it, I'm going to play it on Xbox. Now, technically on PC. But like for all intents and purposes, it's free to me because I pay the subscription. So why wouldn't I play it on there?
You should.
So yeah,
I think you'd really like it.
I know. I'm sure I will. So anyways, just tons of games that I'd love to jump into. And I mean, the topic today isn't PlayStation Plus. But I do think PlayStation Plus gets a bad rap because Xbox Game Pass did it first. I actually do have the tier of PlayStation Plus that lets you play, access their what they call the game catalog, which is in a lot of ways very similar to Game Pass. I would say they don't tend to have as new games, at least not recently, but a lot of the time I'm jumping in there and I'll just scroll back through the catalog and be like, oh yeah, I wanted to try this. I want to try this. I want to try this. And I'll jump into those games as well. So again, that's not what we're talking about today. I think Game Pass does edge out the PlayStation offering a little bit, but it's not nearly as garbage as people seem to just assume it is because it didn't do it first. So, anyways, yeah.
So I'd say Game Pass is much stronger than PlayStation's. Like PlayStation's library and offering. It's not how we're talking about it. Similar ideas. But I think for myself, I play a lot more indie games or have been lately. And then just getting like Vampire, what's this new one? Vampire
Crawlers?
Crawlers, yeah. Like getting that, I'm like, oh, very interesting. I bought it on Steam. I had no idea it was on Game Pass. I don't know if they can target like the like indie scene that I like more. Like I think that also make me more aware. Maybe I'm just not aware. Right?
Yeah. Fair enough. Yeah, I'm looking at the catalog now. You're right. Game Pass does outshine it quite a bit, but regardless, it's not like there aren't good games on there.
That
Is
is
all
true.
I'm saying. So
Yeah. I want to bring up, while we're still in this topic, Elgator Lucas in the chat comes in and says, I'll say I found the new setup for Game Pass, as the new leadership said to drop the prices, caused me to get back in. I have both, but each has their pros and cons. So already with the lower price,
me too, Lucas.
It's bringing more folks in.
Yeah.
So maybe awesome. I know 4 people with an Xbox.
Yeah, and that's the thing. I'm sure you know more people than you think. It's so funny to me how the tables have turned, because in high school and everything, I was the only person with the PlayStation 3. Yeah. Everyone had the 360, right? Because that was on top, and it was first to market, and it had Halo and Call of Duty. And of course, PlayStation had Call of Duty, and I was always like, guys, the online is just fine. Everyone says it's bad because it's free, but it's not. They it's your internet connection.
Yeah, they went black for 3 to 4 months somehow. That was crazy.
No. I don't recall that. I wasn't online gaming. I had a real life at something like that. Anyways, now to kind of bring it all to a close in some way here, let's talk upcoming games, because of course, with the exception of Call of Duty, Xbox first-party games will be coming day and date to Xbox Game Pass. I'm curious if there's anything that you're stoked for. Of course, I do have a list of a few here that are coming out or have come out recently. Of course, we have Kiln here for anyone new in the chat. Here's the influencer box, the press box that was sent around for Kiln, which Emily, friend of the show, was kind enough to give to Samson to send to me. So that was very exciting. Once again, shout out Emily, shout out Double Fine, shout out Kiln. But yeah, games. We've got Kiln coming from Double Fine. We've got Forza Horizon 6, of course, releasing technically today, I believe, by the time you're listening to this, a couple days ago. Just to list a couple more, you shouted out Stranger Than Heaven a little while ago. We've got Beast of Reincarnation, of course, unveiled at the recent Xbox Developer Direct, I think it was, coming from Game Freak, the Pokemon developers. Shout out Lucas in the chat. We've got Fable. We've got Gears of War E-Day, State of Decay 3. Anything jumping out at you? Anything I didn't shout out?
I mean, I think you got like the rest of the year slate here. Would it be crazy if they got GTA 6? No, I'm not even going to put that out there. I'm not even going to put that out there.
That would be a bomb. If that happened, that would shake like the industry would collectively heave.
Oh, I think. That'll feed generations, as they say.
Yes.
No, I think I think you nailed most of it. Beast of Reincarnation, I'm interested. And I'll put Fable, Gears E-Day in that category as well. Gears E-Day, I'm actually like watching the trailer. I'm like, oh, I think I was a bigger Gears head than I thought back then. like just playing the dude bro shooter with all my dude bro friends, and then we've all aged out of it. But then watching E-Day again, I'm like, oh, I do remember fighting hordes,
doesn't it?
And I was like getting pinned down and all the sleepovers. I'm like, doing something to me. So E-Day as well. OD, of course, curious about what that is. But I do think the one that will get me to swipe the card is Stranger Than Heaven. There's something about the music. I mean, I like the cast, like Snoop Dogg, Otto, Tori Kelly. I'm like, okay, they have like real artists, real singers in it. And then that kind of story reminds me a lot of Sleeping Dogs. It's got that like Asian mafia vibe going on, which I love those old school Hong Kong police cop movies. I'm sure there's going to be some elements of that in there. I think Stranger Than Heaven, if they pull it off, like I think that will be what will get me to swipe the card. So
yeah, fair enough. Yeah, it's funny that you say that about Gears of War. The 2 games that ever got me close to buying a 360, one was Gears of War 3, of course, because of Horde mode, just playing that at friends' house, like you say, sleepovers, staying up late, fortifying your little base and taking out waves and waves of, what are they called? Locusts. I have fond memories of that. And then the other one was actually Splinter Cell Conviction.
Whoa, what?
Yeah, and that's because at the time when that came out, it looked a lot to me like a stylized and sort of spy version of Uncharted. and obviously Uncharted was at the height of its popularity there. So, yeah, those are the only two games that really had me on the edge about buying a 360. But I never did. I never did cave. I do actually.
Oh.
Yeah, Batgirl in chat says conviction, folks. I have my friend's old 360 right here, of course, with the cool ass faceplate. Back when you could change the faceplate. So I don't know how well you can see that, but
no,
that's good. I forgot to put the paint
It's a
away.
nice art piece.
Oh god, it's heavy. Okay, I'm not going to move it. Anyways,
yeah, don't move it. You're gonna scratch the disc inside, and it's gonna red ring.
Yeah, no, it's already red ring. That's why it's on the desk. But anyways, yeah.
So. I think that's also one thing that as the attention goes back to Xbox, they've done so many pro consumer things over the past couple of years, like doing stuff like the backwards compatible games. What else? Yeah, like everything else.
Backwards compat was a big thing.
I was gonna mention
that was a big deal.
What was that thing when you suspending the game thing? I don't know why I forgot.
Oh,
but that's not. Yeah, that's
the
pretty recent.
Quick swap thing that they did.
Yeah,
right?
that is. Those are features that I don't think many of the other game consoles still do. Like when I finish Tomodachi Life on my Switch to go play Kirby, I have to shut down one, and I'm like, I have to make sure I save. Whereas, quick swap is still a thing right there. So I am. Color me, optimistic about where Xbox is going to be a year from now, even by the end of the year. Lucas said it earlier in the chat. He's giving the CEO the benefit of the doubt. She is listening, like we mentioned earlier in the show. Like what's the catch here? You are doing all the things that people have asked you to do or asked the company to do. Like, what's the catch here? But so far, like, hey, if they're doing good stuff out of the goodness of their hearts, maybe like why not? Why don't we ride that wave until we can't?
Yeah, totally. Yeah,
cool.
Yeah. Good stuff. Well, do you have any final thoughts on Xbox, or should we wrap this thing up and maybe get around to? Well, at least I know I'll be going to play some Forza.
I want to put this out there while we are talking about the positives that Xbox is doing. We talked a little bit about the rebranding earlier, and one thing we didn't touch on was the fact that they have been teasing Project Helix, their next console, which pretty much did they confirm for next year, right? Definitely not this year.
I feel like they have said they will for sure unveil it next year. I don't know if it's releasing next year.
Okay, yeah, probably not this year. Probably like a Game Awards thing. My hot take is if they want to win all the points in the world, Jordan.
Okay.
If they want to win every Xbox gamer back and get headlines and get people talking about Xbox again in a positive way, get them to look back at the past 12 months and be like, oh, this is what the new leadership's doing. Like they lowered the prices, get them all that.
Yeah.
They have to name the next Xbox 720. And they got it. They got it.
Harken back to the 360, the glory days, hey?
The glory days, the sequel to the glory days. It is the natural naming convention. Sure, it doesn't make sense after 1 and Series X and S. Maybe that's their thing. It's just not supposed to match with the last one. That's just their whole thing, right? So Xbox 720 in 2027, if they pull that off, I want royalties. I want a month of Game Pass for free.
Now look, Lucas in the chat says Xbox 1080.
Do we just go to 4K?
I was going to say, here's the thing. Now that I so Batgirl said RIP 720, Lucas said Xbox 1080, and that immediately made me go, oh yeah, if they were to name it the 720, people are going to think that has to do with the TV. And they're going to be like, wow, what is this crappy old Xbox? Can't even do 1080 if they name it the 720. And then it's like, well, 1080 has a nice ring to it. But 4K? Maybe? The Xbox 4K?
Xbox, just call it Xbox 8K. And then then the 8 turns sideways to be infinity, and it's infinite K.
And then maybe they call it the Xbox Infinite. And then Halo the next Halo can be called Halo Infinite. No, wait. No.
Whoops. Did you just call it again? Nobody played the last one.
Yeah, exactly. Halo Infiniter.
Okay, the 4K, the little number is 2160. Doesn't roll off the tongue as nice.
Xbox 2160.
Yeah,
people will be like, "What is this? The Atari 2600 days?" Like,
people haters will find a way to hate.
Yeah,
Lucas has one, Xbox Infinity. They'll call the next Halo Infinity. It's like Infinite. I don't remember that one.
Bring back Disney Infinity on the Xbox Infinity.
Oh my gosh. I'm sure the corporations will figure out a way to.
Yeah. That's right.
That's right. Is awesome. Well, thanks for guiding us through your Xbox journey, Jordan.
Ooh,
thanks for prepping the episode and letting us know like what Game Pass is like in 2026. Let us know, chat, listener, comments. Let us know in the comments what you think of Game Pass now in the year 2026. Are you going to get it? Are you going to wait for a game to get it? Are you going to buy a month and then fall off? What's your game plan? There is many options out there nowadays, that's for sure. Before we head off and shout everyone out, I want to remind you that when this episode goes live, if you're listening live right now, technically tomorrow, Wednesday, but if you're listening to this on the day of release, Wednesday morning, as we sometimes post, May 20th, there is a Forza Invitational happening. Jordan, do you want to talk about that real quick?
Yeah, of course. I was actually just trying to pull up a graphic about it. I was going to drop the link to their Twitch in the chat, but I'm looking at my Twitch and I have a really weird link for a really weird channel on twitch.tv/drop and drop out. So maybe just hang out there. Just put a pin in that. Tomorrow, which by the time you're listening to this may be today, and it may have also happened. Well, I'll say Wednesday, May 20th, over on the Drop in Drop Out Twitch channel, there is a Forza Horizon 6 Invitational. So, of course, I was invited to take part in this with a number of the Drop In, Drop Out crew. There's a few creators from all over the place. Of course, Heroic Headgear was in the chat earlier. He will be there. Some of his fellow podcast hosts over on the Content Mill will be there. And a few others from around the community. Of course, if you know Drop In, Drop Out, you will probably recognize a lot of them. And if you don't, then check them out for sure as well. But look for Drop In, Drop Out on Instagram, and that's probably going to be the best way to find them. Let me just do a quick Drop In, Drop Out Instagram. Drop In, Drop Out. They are at Drop In, Drop Out Pod, and you'll see them posting about this. And you'll find the link to their Twitch tomorrow when they're ready to go live. Of course, it should be kicking off around 5 p.m. PT or 6 p.m. Mountain Time.
Very nice. And you're racing, right, Jordan? You got your
car all decked out? Racing. Yes. I have to spend a little more time tonight to make sure I'm through all of the tutorial stuff. I think I got through most of it last night. From what I hear, I'm like right on the edge of finishing that. And I need to make sure I have a couple classes of cars so that we can do some themed races. Ooh. And I can partake in those. But I'm very much looking forward to it. Of course, you may recall Samson had the honor of taking part in the Mario Kart World Invitational back when the Switch 2 and Mario Kart World came out. And I was very sad to miss out on that. But that's how I got invited into the Forza Horizon one. So
yeah, the boys are done playing their Mario Karts. The men are now here to race their real cars.
And the women and everything in between.
Oh, yes. I'm excited to watch. Unfortunately, I won't be able to participate live, but maybe I'll be at the movie theater with my little phone open and watching Jordan on the side.
With your little baby Yoda.
Yeah, exactly. We're watching. I heard the reviews aren't great, so so I don't know how into it will be. But yeah, make sure to check Jordan with the Drop In Drop Out crew on twitch.tv/Drop In Drop Out Pod today, May 20th, 2026. If you enjoyed what you listened to, make sure you like, comment, subscribe, follow at Grow Up Level Up wherever you catch your podcasts, on YouTube, on Twitch, on Spotify, everywhere that you can find us, and leave a comment. Let us know what you thought. Share with a friend, of course, if you enjoyed what you listened to. Do you agree with us? Do not agree with us? Let us know in the comments. You can find me at SamsonXP on all the socials as well. And if you want to interact with me, find me on Instagram. That's where I'm most active, or on Blue Sky, smsn.bluesky.social. Jordan, where can the good people find you?
The good people can find me all over the internet at Sir Dr. JM. Sorry, Sir Dr. JM. That's Sir Dr. JM on Instagram, on twitch.tv/Sir Dr. JM. And like I said, I just dropped a link in the chat there. Twitch.tv/drop-in-drop-out-pod tomorrow at 5 p.m. PT, 6 p.m. MT.
Very nice, very nice. I had one more thought. I forgot. Oh yeah, next week. Next week, we don't know what we're going to be talking about yet. But the week after that, I want to give a hint to the good people that are still listening. We are going to be talking about my experience at the first Riftbound regional event here in Vancouver. I'll save the chats for that. Riftbound, new League of Legends trading card game. You heard of these Pokemon cards? Well, guess what? Some other folks are hopping in on the card game trend, including League of Legends. So make sure you are subscribed for that episode in a couple of weeks. I will have a lot of thoughts to talk about. Yeah, but other than that, thank you so much for joining us today, and hope to catch you next time. And if you're listening live, we're going to be rating. Oh, Jordan, yes. What are your wise words to close us out today?
I'll pull up some wise words here. Wise words today are: we will begin winding down Copilot on mobile, and we'll stop development of Copilot on console.
So wise.
Yeah, I know. It is wise of them.